myself. So, basically, I'm here to talk to you about special needs because I'm an advisor who works in Wiltshire, and I support children with physical impairments and associated complex needs in mainstream schools. And I've been there 7 years, and I've seen children from 2 to 3 all the way through to when they go to college. And what I wanted to do is just share some of my thoughts about inclusion and integration and some of the cool tools that will make a difference in your school. Here's some of the key points we've learned. Joint assessments. When I go in and see a child, I always take somebody with me, physical impairment advisor, an OT, a physio. It's really important that teams come in when they assess a pupil. At that early age or further on, that they have joint assessments. The ongoing monitoring support is critical. I'm a member of a 3 team. There's myself, and there's a TA who supports 12 pupils, and there's a technician who does my builds because I loan out specific equipment to help them in the mainstream school. Medium-term planning embeds individual usage. It's not all very well giving people kit, but it could sit there if it isn't planned in. My prize example is how many people have got Clicker 5 and actually use it. Because basically it sits there because it's too complicated for a lot of people to use. But if it's put in the teacher's medium-term planning, we've given some kit. The TA isn't left wondering what to do with this whizzo kit that actually the teacher isn't instigating. So my message is teacher takes ownership. Teacher takes ownership. She doesn't leave it to the TA to help the child. Transition requires smaller, lighter kit. I just love netbooks because basically that's made my secondary issue important. Secondary school, people move around a lot. And so when I asked kids what they liked at the secondary age, they said, well, something about A5 size, this is before netbooks came in, we'd like it to be a tablet because we want to carry it around and interact with it. So basically the netbooks came out. And the impact is life-changing. I have seen children who would have gone to special schools if they hadn't got the IT. Quite literally, if they hadn't got the IT. And that goes from physical impairment through to autism, through to dyspraxia, through to all the other dis. Now, my cool tools. When a child goes into an early years setting, nursery setting, this particular kind of kit is really useful, especially if in a wheelchair, because the kid is kind of disabled in the wheelchair to get to the computer. Often I see, even in nurseries, a computer monitor, a keyboard, a table, and the kid is over here. They end up doing that. Why not have a swing arm, which costs you very little? All the stuff that I've got is just got on the back of the sheet, where you can get it, how much. It's £139. You can swivel it down over the chair. You can put the child in control of it. If it's a touch screen, they can tap it. Basically, a really useful tool. And most monitors will fit to it. It's a standard plate fitting. Next cool tool is a joystick Roller Plus, Traxxas Roller Plus joystick. This has no software, you plug it in, and it enables the user to have guards to protect if they've got CP, they will move into different parts of the keys, they've got the keys separated. That's always a good ploy for the dyspraxic kid, make sure the keys are separated. And basically, that child can move the mouse, and you can slow the mouse movement down. So CP children have variable movements. It's a bit like any kind of disability. It doesn't always stay stable. They can be good on one day and bad on another. It's just like us. And so if you can slow it down, you've got a speed button at the bottom. And we also have single button mice. Lots of people don't know about these things. That's why I'm telling you. Single button mice will enable your child who constantly clicks the right button and gets a menu up away from that. Works like a Mac, doesn't it? Netbooks, we've mentioned them. There are a wide variety out there, but for secondary use, if anybody's here from that background, you need a good battery. And basically an 8-hour battery is ideal. And I could mention mates, but look for that. Software that we use, Clicker 5, very useful tool but a beast to train with. You have to give training, and it allows children at the early end of school, primary age, to use their reading ability to write with. Grid at the bottom, writing tool at the top. Many of you may know it. And basically, it provides the access tools. So if a child can't use a joystick, they've got basically shut in with their hand movements. They can use switches to access this program. And it's not just special needs. Even extremely bright children can use this as a way of accessing text and having it fed back to them in different ways. Going older, transition to secondary school, and using secondary school, we have found word prediction helps 98% of dyslexic children. I've got, my caseload is 1,205 pupils. I've seen 1,025 pupils in 7 years. 98% of dyslexics will cope with word prediction. It can make a huge change to the way they write. Very important. And lastly, sheet on the sheet, you get there. Speech recognition, not one for schools, one for the home, particularly of teenagers round about 14 to 15. It's the same company that when you ring up any call centre, it recognises your voice. It's the same material, and it's available in any PC World or Curry's Place, and could really help dyslexic children if they've got the maturity to handle it. It is no use giving it an 8 or 9-year-old who, when it makes a mistake, they just collapse in giggles. End of story. They can't access it. So that's just some of the things that we are working with. Are you waving that at me? Thank you. What you've got in front of you there is some of the things that people have said, parents and staff and children. This isn't to say Wiltshire's great. It's just to give you some handles on the kinds of issues we've had. And I must stress that it's important that it's put in the context of that. So, thank you for listening. I think I've finished.
Some of you that have iPhones, iPods,